Hey everybody, 8-Bit Josh here, and welcome back to Aurora Park. So this episode's a bit shorter than usual. I wanted to get it out this week, and so, I figured, well, I'll just kind of make it a little bit of a shorter episode, so that way you guys have, interesting content to watch. At least I think it's interesting. But anyway, excuse me. So this episode we're working on, this is sort of a multi-purpose building that I decided to make. So first it's sort of like a, this episode is, we're working on the Cosmic Lounge, as I decided to call it. The lounge itself is not really functional. There will be some picnic tables kind of on the outside. The section there I'm working on is actually going to be like a little patio. It's going to be outside, and there'll be picnic tables there that the guests can actually use, but you'll see as we start building like the bar and some like high top tables, those are really just for aesthetic purposes. They're not functional. But there's, it's going to be a multi-purpose building in that there are the shops and, food stands in here. But also, you'll see, I add a go-kart track to the back end of the building. I don't actually build any of the go-kart track in this episode. I just kind of place like the main, like the station building of it. That way, kind of at least get an idea of where it's going to go. But yeah, so there, this building here, I don't know if it's going to be the last building in the Main Street area. There might be one more that'll be kind of next to this. But it's definitely, we're nearing the end of the Main Street area. So like next episode, we'll work on the go-kart track. And I'm thinking for the go-karts, it'll probably be indoors. And so we'll probably just have like a big building that the go-kart track will be inside. Maybe just like, I don't know if, I'm still undecided, like maybe it'll be just a big open room. I know like, at least here in the States, if you go to like go-kart tracks that are indoors, they're usually just in like a large, almost like a warehouse looking kind of building. But here you see, I'm just I'm placing the like station building and connect up the entrance and the exit. But I'm not sure if like for the actual track, if it'll be like sort of just in a big open room kind of thing, or maybe it'll be like kind of tunnels involved within the building. I'm not quite decided on that yet. And then here, starting to build the bar for the lounge. And of course I placed the animatronic there for, just for reference of size. As I've said, sometimes it's hard to gauge, how big things should be compared to the size of a guest. And the animatronics are the same size as the guests. So that's a good way to, just kind of keep the scale of everything when you're building. So these pieces here I'm using are actually their sign pieces, which you saw me start using those in the last episode, and so I'm doing it more here. They have really cool lighting, especially at night, and you may see a few times in this episode where I kind of switch back and forth between night and day just to get that look, to see how it's looking, if there's anything I need to adjust. And then the stools are actually, they're just light posts. The white part at the bottom, which is I recolored blue, is the actual light, but flipped upside down they kind of look like neat little futuristic like bar stools, I guess. And for the bar, I'm using the same like the actual bar where the drinks are, the same pieces and the same like neon signs, and put a couple TVs, because when you go to a lounge or a bar, there's usually TVs you can watch. And then here, these are actually fireworks, and I'm using them as sort of like the, you know, glass bottles or whatever that, you know, you would see on a bar. There aren't like, you know, bottle props and things in this game, so, you know, it's the best I could do. It's a little, I don't know, it might be a little silly looking, but I thought it was kind of cool. So in other exciting Planet Coaster news, it was just announced earlier this week that they're releasing the new Studios pack, and it sounds pretty cool. I'm excited for it. It's sort of like you know, movie themed, if you will. So you can do, well, let's see, I'm gonna actually read their little description here. Let's see, it says releasing action-packed Studios pack for you to get creative with. Our newest paid content is specifically catered for those who want to bring that glitzy Hollywood glamour to their park. New props, stunts, animatronics, special effects. So I kind of get the idea. It's very much inspired by like the Universal Studios theme parks, which makes a lot of sense because Frontier has the deal with Universal. You know, they came out with last fall they came out with Back to the Future, Monsters, and Knight Rider DLC, which are Universal. And of course, if you don't know, they're working on the Jurassic World Evolution video game, so, which is also Universal. So that makes a lot of sense. And you know, I guess you can make like little stunt shows, and there's some like new rides. There's like the tour bus, like, I don't know, you'd have to look it up, but like the kind of classic like little tour bus you'd, you know, ride in and take you around the park. There's a motion kind of roller coaster. If you've been to Universal Studios and if you've been on the Harry Potter ride, that's the kind of ride that is. The other like really cool thing is, like I've been saying throughout this series, how there is not glass in this game, with, you know, the exception of a few things here or there. They are actually adding glass into the game, so that's super exciting. That's a big deal to make. There's all kinds of potential there with actual glass. So we may try to use that. You could make like some cool tunnels, or I don't know, there's all kinds of cool things we could do with that. But anyway, back to the video. So this part here, I'm adding in lights to the ceiling, and I kind of forgot where the path was because it's covered up by the scenery piece. So I added the little guard around the path just so I could see where it was. And then just adding these lights kind of going across it, which, you know, I said early on in this series, I'm trying to focus a lot more on lighting and everything. So that's just me kind of planning for the future, placing those lights there. And then I just kind of remove the guard because we don't actually want that there. And then let's see. So as far as the StudioPEX, that comes out on March 27th, so this coming Tuesday, and I plan on doing a review video for that. So be on the lookout for that. That should be like late Tuesday, maybe early Wednesday of next week. So that should be fun. But I want to get through to comments from the last video. There's only 2, and you know, that's usually there's a few more, but because this video is, you know, coming out pretty close to the last one, there's only got 2 comments, but they're from the ever reliable Poofy Gaming, and let him come in it. But Poofy says, good idea to use that gun as antennas, though I think they look more like pipes, as in a factory has them. My advice for this round, mix up the colors in a building, alter shades of gray so the buildings come off more vivid, add LED lights, beep boop. And actually I kind of agree with the gun that I used as antennas. It does look kind of like pipes. So I might actually also use that, you know, make some like pipes out of it somewhere. I don't know where yet exactly, but it's a good idea. You know, in sci-fi you always see kinds of like pipes going everywhere and across buildings and sticking out of buildings, so that's a good idea there. We'll definitely use that. Then Let 'em Come In, it says, loving the color and lighting here. Definitely looking great at night now, as expected. Would be cool to have some kind of track ride / coaster in amongst that all, or just a section ping through overhead, I reckon. Looking pretty sweet so far. Well, hopefully the go-kart track will, you know, kind of do what you're thinking there. Like I said, the go-kart track's not going to, it's not going to like weave in and out of the buildings. It's going to be an indoor go-kart track, but at least there'll be like another ride in this area, and so it'll be fun to work on that next episode. That's what I plan to do next episode, but we'll see. With the new StudioPEX coming out, I may, you know, get some new ideas for what I want to do with the park. There is one section of the park that I'm planning on that the glass will come in very handy. Hopefully I can make it work out the way that I want it, but you know, sometimes when I think of sci-fi, sometimes there might be, you know, domes, that kind of thing. I don't know, but maybe look out for that at some point in this series. But so yeah, I think I'm going to leave this episode here. There's just a few more minutes left in the video, so I'll leave it to you to you know, enjoy the awesome music that is you know, the soundtrack for this game. I love the music, and I listen to it a lot when I'm building. I mean, it plays in the game, but a lot of times I'll just turn the game volume down and play the soundtrack because I just think it's that good. So you know, be sure to leave your comments down below, because as I always say, I like to read them, and you know, if you want to hear your comments read, be sure to leave your comments. Plus, I like hearing your suggestions and implementing them if I'm able to. It's always appreciated. But yeah, so comments, suggestions, feedback, all that fun stuff. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And then once you subscribe, hit the little bell icon, so whenever I post new videos, you'll get a notification. So I am 8-Bit Josh, and thanks for watching. See ya.